So, Deku's now. We're on the second night. No, we're on the first night. Deku and Scott Bailey and Molten Freddy begin to say, like, and William Afton begin to say, like, we should kill the Night Guard. And Deku says, why should we kill him? And Springtrap says, he's my son. He deserves to die. Like he almost killed his brother. Deku put both his hands on Springtrap's shoulders and said, William, let it go. It's in the past. You can't hold this grudge anymore. Of course, Morton Frey's like, I want to kill him. Scrap Baby's like, so do I. Well, not typically. I want to apologize. Alright, for the second night, Deku, Elizabeth Afton on the left and William Scrap Trap on the left, on the right. Deku behind William Afton. William Afton suddenly turned around and he saw this golden Freddy, this golden bear. He turned around and he noticed that it was gone, but he turned to his left and he saw Springtrap or Scrap Trap. But Michael Afton isn't dying. He says, why am I not dead? Because he opened his eyes and he looks at the animatronics hugging him. Michael Afton says, why are you hugging me? Scrap Trap says, you don't recognize your own father? And Michael Afton says, Dad? William Afton says, son, I'm sorry for being a jerk to you when you were younger. I should have treated you more better. But I was too naive back then, son, so forgive me. Michael Afton hugs him, like saying, like, I missed you. I thought I was all alone. After when Chris ran away, I didn't know what to do. And Scott Baby said, well, isn't this funny? As she's exiting out the vents. Because Deku teleported to Molten Freddy, and Deku just said, Molten Freddy, you're coming with me. Teleports away into the room. I'll get to that later. Anyway. Scott Baby says, you don't hello, brother. Michael Afton says, what? What do you mean, my brother? She says, you don't recognize me. I'm your sister, Elizabeth. He starts to cry. Says, is this a dream? Are you two really here? Both of them look at each other like saying, yes, why wouldn't we be? Michael Afton gets up and hugs both of them. Both of them are now half of a family, happy family now. And for a few nights, they get along. Lefty came along, and Deku says, are you a possessed child? Lefty said, yeah, I am. But I don't want to get in detail with it. As the 3 nights go by, Henry looks at the footage and he's like, why are those two animatronics not killing him? And the third one and the fourth one, but the fifth one is. And Deku says to Molten Freddy, just stop trying to kill him. I'll keep teleporting you back here. Won't you? He's like, come on, this is the whole point. We're killing robots. And Deku sees we're not killers, If we need to be killers, we have a reason to be. But that isn't a reason. Molten Freddy's like, fine, I'll stop. However, on the 5th day, Michael Afton's still doing his work. He looks at the recording, says, "Well, I didn't really expect this. I didn't know that you were family with them." Henry Afton already knew. It's Henry Afton said on the recording. "You are actually a pretty good person to one another. I expected you to kill your own child. Not the. I expected William to kill Michael, his own child, Elizabeth, her own brother. But you two just decided to not to kill him. You decided to hug him and ask for forgiveness and say you're sorry. But things must come to an end. Your souls must be freed. Michael, there was a way out for you, but I had a feeling that you wouldn't want to escape. So, this is where we part ways. Those of you who are stuck and bound to this mortal plane, you are being freed. Deku notices that his walls are kind of getting on fire. And Deku is the now last animatronic left. Because Deku is a smart one. He teleported outside, outside of the pizzeria. Well, he didn't teleport yet, but Deku is almost getting on fire. No, I'll let the recording play out. However, one of you, the devil the devil is waiting for you for the darkest pits of hell. So don't keep the devil waiting. Lefty, Elizabeth, and Afton and Molten Freddy are gone. Their souls are set free. However, in the fire, Deku put a flash. Deku was sleeping. He put a shield around himself, making sure the fire didn't go onto him. As the smoke settled, Deku woke up. He looked at the rubble, and he sees Scrap Baby and Scrap Trap covering Michael Afton, or protecting him from the rubble. He removes the rubble, but he finds both the two animatronics are empty shells. He looks at Michael Afton. But his pulse is very weak. And that's when Deku notices that Scrap Trap's holding on to something. A recording. Deku grabs it out of his hand, and he begins playing it. It says, "If you're reading this, Deku, then I'm dead. And so is my daughter. The time we spent here was fun. In fact, it was a blast. It was the most fun I had in years. And some forgiveness. However, I need you to do something for me. Watch for my son. For my son, Michael Afton." This is really hard for me to explain to you, Deku, but in that time, I've managed to build an illusion disc. Deku's like, "What's an illusion disc?" In his head. He says, "An illusion disc is a thing that makes you into a human. It's a prototype, so I was saving it for a special occasion, but I guess you can have it. It's the illusion, the illusion disc is in my chest. Hit the button. Hit my nose too. Hit the button on my nose to get it. Deku puts down the auto recording. He kneels down. He presses Scrap Trap's nose. And Deku sees the illusion disc. Deku knows that there is now a little insert port on his chest. Or Deku makes one. Deku grabs a disc and he puts it in. And Deku makes sure that there's no port now. He makes it disappear. Deku now transforms to a human, into his old self, but his hair is kind of golden and his eyes are black and white. But Deku changed them to his regular eyes, but I won't keep that way. Deku grabs Michael Afton, carries him to the hospital for 2 hours. Deku arrives at the hospital, and he says, "Hey, could you help this guy?" The doctor's saying, "What happened to him?" Deku says, and a collapse happened over in Fazbear's diner. It burnt down. He's the only survivor. Deku says, "We'll take care of him, but do you know any family relatives?" Deku says, "No, I don't." Deku proceeds to wait in the waiting room. And the doctors came in, and the doctor said, "We have bad news, sir." And Deku says, "What is it?" "Michael Afton has passed. I'm sorry to say this, but do you have anyone else?" Deku says, "No, I don't." Deku leaves the hospital. Deku at the graveyard. He sees Chris Afton. Deku at the funeral party. Chris Afton looks at Deku at the funeral. He says, "Do I recognize that guy? I have a feeling I've seen him somewhere before." When the funeral's over, Deku gets out of his seat and walks away. And now it's the time with quirks. Quirks suddenly stop popping around the world. Deku's like, huh. So these people have powers now. And something happened. Deku began to wonder why was he the only one alive. And that's when Deku, over the years, and now we're in when All Might was in his prime, to that year. Chris Afton's no longer among the living. He's dead. He's dead now. He's long gone. Deku looked at Chris Afton's grave. He notices that there's a note on his grave. It says, "For Deku." Deku picks it up. He opens it and reads, "I know you're the guy that saved me. I don't know how you're alive or how you're not old or don't age, but could you take care of my teddy bear? Because he's the only thing I had left of my family. And could you make sure that nothing happens to him, please?" And Deku, she's the key and the coordinates, or the address where the teddy bear is. Deku decides, why not? Deku proceeds to begin to open the garage door. He just sees a teddy bear. An empty space, that's all there is. There is just a teddy bear. Deku grabs it. And Deku, like, sees the teddy bear's eyes are kind of glowing, like his. And the guy says, well, that's kind of weird. I thought there'd be a fortune there, but teddy bear? Really? Deku says to the guy, shut up. Take your payment and leave. Because Deku's mysterious. He has, like, different kind of jobs, and he lasts, like, a long time. I'm gonna say Deku could make money from his powers, why not? Deku proceeds to hold a teddy bear and put it in his jacket. He ends walking away. He goes to see where the old animatronics are. And he just sleeps there. Until someone finds him. Deku proceeds to wake up, and he just says, how long have I been asleep? Deku looks at his computer, like, looks like it's the new generation of heroes. And Deku notices that there's hero registrations, and Deku says, why not? But then something happened. This is where Deku encounters Bakugo. Bakugo and Deku bumped each other with their shoulder. Deku bumps Bakugo in the shoulder. And Bakugo's like, hey, what was that for? Deku turned around, and he has eyes, and yeah. Deku says, you walked into me first, kid. Bakugo's like, fight me! And Deku's like really young still, because he may have been an adult. No, he's not. Well, he was an adult, but he was super young. He had an adult personality. Deku says, fine, back alley, this way. The guy brings his friends. And the Bakugo says, come on, loser, let's see your quirk. And Deku says, I don't really have a quirk, kid. And the guy says, wait, you're quirkless? And Deku's like, yep, I'm quirkless. Bakugo's like, this will be easy. Bakugo throws an explosion, but not after Deku walking through it. Bakugo's like, what? You said you didn't have a quirk. Deku looks at Bakugo and says, I don't. Deku flicks Bakugo into a garbage can, and the lid closes. And his friends are laughing, Bakugo's friends. Deku looks at them with a dead glance. They both just like stop laughing. Bakugo gets out of the trash, like, liar, you said you're quirkless. And Deku proceeds to grab Bakugo by the arm, lifting him up, and says, kid, I know a brawl when I see one. I know how to fight. Unlike you. Deku, let's go. Bakugo's arm and says, leave, kid. You're not even worth my time. Bakugo somehow just like lets it go for once, and because Deku gave him that glance as well for Bakugo. As Deku's going to the forums, because that happened like 5 hours ago. Now Bakugo's like in the sludge films, like it's like, I guess I gotta go save him. Deku walking towards Bakugo in the crowd, and he hears like saying like, kid, what are you doing? It's not safe here. And Deku just says, "Get out of my way. You can't even handle a simple situation." But Deku keeps walking up to the sludge villain. Sorry, guys. Deku grabs the sludge villain by the face. And all of a sudden, the sludge villain just turns to ice. And Deku grabbed Bakugo and pushed him away. Or yanked him away, basically. And Deku... Okay, I want someone to calculate how old would Deku be at this point, because I can't remember. Because I lost track of how old he would be. When the ice unfroze for... The ice froze for an instant. Deku enough time to grab Bakugo and toss him. Sludge villain says, "Oh, you made a mistake, kid. That ice is pretty weak." Deku says, "I know. I just made it that way." Sludge villain tries to possess Deku. And the guy's like, "Kid, you're an idiot!" And all of them wondering Deku just says to him, huh. Sludge villain's like, "What's this? What am I possessing? I don't feel anything that I could possess or use." And Deku looks back at the sludge villain. Just says, "I told you, buddy. Those tricks don't work on me." Deku grabs the sludge villain and just pins him down. Oh, fuck. Sorry about that, guys. Deku proceeds to say, "I'm just a distraction," but Deku spins the sludge villain and pins him to the ground. And Deku freezes him completely. He says, I'm just pretty much stronger than you." Deku gets up and walks away. Reporters are surrounding him. And Deku just decides to just teleport away. And All Might, as before Deku could, All Might says, "I am here." Everyone's questioning All Might, and all of them saying, "Oh my god, oh my god. Who is this hero?" All Might says, "Hey, you're not a hero." Deku looks at All Might and just says, "I don't care." Deku teleports away. Everyone's like, All Might's like, "What? But I thought he had a quirk. I thought I thought ice was his only quirk." All Might's trying to think, could he have multiple quirks? Deku just sitting on a rooftop just says, "Kind of sad how everyone I care about dies. Must be a curse. Even if it is, it's kind of funny." I just gotta check something, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. And Deku's like, "Well, I'm already signed up for the exam, and might as well start my training, I guess. Even though I just did some training, but I could have some hidden abilities." Deku looks at the sunset. Deku decides to teleport down. He walks out the alleyway. But before he could, Bakugo bumped into Deku again. And Bakugo says, "Thanks for saving me, I guess, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna be the #1 hero compared to you." And Deku's like, "If you can be the #1 hero, kid, then I would actually respect you." And Bakugo's like, "It'll be a good challenge." Deku decides to walk. And Deku teleports to where he lives. The old pizzeria. Like the old pizzeria, but the pizzeria where the chunks are. course, Deku tied it up. He did some redesigning. It's like his full house now. He does have the animatronics, but he rebuilt them like the same old, but with new materials, and he programmed them to be bodyguards. Sorry guys, my friend's inviting me, and I'm gonna kill him for like in a few minutes. So after this recording is done, I'm just gonna like shout at him so loud. So yeah. Anyway. Deku, of course, repaired Foxy. Deku programmed Foxy just to be the like the scout, and he programmed Chica just to be also be a bodyguard. So yeah, Deku at his place. He just decides to go to sleep, and for the next year he trains. Deku notices he has a new power. Sorry about that. I was too close to that, but anyway. Deku notices that he can turn into go to Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy is able to go into people's dreams and scare them. And Deku's like, that's a useful ability. I'll keep that in mind. Deku still stares at the teddy bear. Deku proceeds to touch it, like boop its nose, and Deku is sent into a black space area. And this is where Nightmare appears and says, where am I? Deku says, oh, who are you though? And Nightmare says, I said first. Deku says, fair enough, I am Deku, or Golden Freddy. And Nightmare says, my name's Nightmare, and where's Chris Afton? And Deku says, he's been dead for a while. Nightmare's like, really? So, how am I here then? Deku says, it must be the teddy bear that's keeping you here. And Nightmare says, well, what about the others? Deku says, what others? I just see you. Nightmare snaps his fingers and all the others appeared. And Nightmare said, well, this is all of us. Deku says, huh. I'm guessing you don't have another version of yourself, Nightmare? Nightmare says, no, I don't. Deku begins to say, like, well, how can I turn into your ability then? Nightmare said, well, this form is actually a multiplier. Deku's like, a multiplier for what? Nightmare begins to explain, like, it's a multiplier for my power. If I stay in this form longer, the more power I get, but the more strain I have. Deku's like, okay, seems easy enough. That's where I'm going to be ending off part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it.